Look at that, ladies and gents. We have seen such a beautiful, beautiful rejection for Bitcoin off the exact area that we knew Bitcoin would probably struggle at. So that is absolutely beautiful. You guys knew very well that I was in two short positions. The first one, I closed at break even right around over here. And the second one, well, I actually traded it on two platforms. I traded on, and this is the reason you want to trade on multiple exchanges. I traded this move on Bybit and OKX. On Bybit, I suffered a really small loss with a small amount of my capital because it hit my stop loss. And on OKX, it didn't hit my stop loss. It was actually on this wick right here, and I would have been in a profit, but I just closed at break even. So Sammy didn't make any money on this move, despite having the perfect analysis here. But that is completely fine. Let's talk about where we might be going. We have seen that rejection off the high right here, but what's really significant, ladies and gents, is we have now developed that weekly candle, and this is what I think is well worth paying attention to right now. If we actually just kind of, forget all the bullshit and just look at this weekly candle right here, we have formed something absolutely spectacular here. This is probably not the right chart, actually. Let me just show it to you on a slightly different chart right here. This is our weekly candle right here. We had a key reversal candle, and we reversed, and we've gone up. So that is absolutely beautiful. From this weekly time frame, it doesn't really look like anything has changed, pardon me, but if we do look at it on a daily time frame, what's very clear is it's with that same resistance line that I've been talking to you guys about for a while. We have been trying to break out of these resistance areas, right? There's this resistance line right here, and there's also this resistance line right here. And we've broken beautifully out of this one. And what I really like about this price action is if we zoom in just a little bit more and we take a look at just how bullish this market has shown itself to be basically throughout the course of yesterday, we have hit our resistance levels continuously and just broke them without hesitation, which is absolutely phenomenal. Now, granted, we are in the bulk of the resistance right now. We got rejected at exactly the level that I told you would probably act as resistance for Bitcoin, 28.6. Where did we top out? 28.5, right? So just within $125 of my estimate, that's exactly where Bitcoin topped out, which is absolutely beautiful. Once again, proven to us that TA is always useful. And now Bitcoin needs to find support. It is on its way down and it needs to find support. So I've actually left this red line here. I definitely think that this red line could come back into play and then maybe we get another bounce up. And one of the things that's really important is we've overcome this kind of block of price action, right? And I was actually talking to you guys a lot about how I was expecting this particular block of price action right here to be quite significant for the market as far as resistance goes. The fact that we are above it now means that we might be able to find support here, right? So the very bottom of this green box here is actually pretty important. If we stretch this out, the bottom of this green box, let me just move it down just a little bit more. Right here lines up with the resistance that Bitcoin was finding here throughout the middle of May. We are now potentially going to be finding support here. And this is what we want to see, is now that we've overcome our resistance levels, what we want to do is see if we can actually start coming back down and finding support in those same places, right? If we found support here, but instead now we're finding support up here, and then we're finding support up here, that's showing us that we're actually forming some sort of bullish price action here, which is definitely quite reassuring. Now, if we take a quick look at the 4Flies dashboard with a long and short ratio, we are still seeing a lot of longs in this market. We've got a fear and greed rating of 52 and a long and short ratio of 54, but it's a lot less than what we had before. Now, granted, we are still quite heavy, right? And all platforms here, Bybit is even slightly bullish as well, but what we have seen very, very clearly is a scaling back of the longs, and that's exactly what we need to see. And this is actually one of the things that I kind of started to get worried about, right? Like when I was in my short position, I was telling you guys, like, look, I need to be careful with my money. I'm still in a long. I've made a ridiculous amount of money on that long, and I still expect it to make me more money, and I've been saying that for a very long time, but I was seeing some weakness in the short-term market. Now that we're starting to really reverse and break our resistance levels, and we're seeing the long and short ratio pull back, for example, we have less reasons to be as bearish now, right? And that's why I started to get cold feet on that position, and that's why I did so many things to scale back that position to make sure that a bad trade didn't lose me money. Now, it did still lose me money, okay? And this is part of the process. We need to understand this, and I will proudly say this to you a million times that I lost money on that trade because this is part of the game, right? You're going to pay for your winners, and that's really important. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't overpay for your winners, all right? You don't want to get a bad deal. You're going to have to pay. There's no debate around this. You don't have a choice in this. If you don't like it, get the fuck out of the trading game. It's not going to work for you, mate. But if you're okay with that, what you need to understand is that while you are going to eat some losses on your way to winners, you need to make sure you are minimizing those losses as much as possible. So here's what I did. I had 2 orders set to short Bitcoin. I canceled the first one, okay? I canceled the first one. I just wasn't into it. The second one, stop loss hit, but it was a very small loss, and that was only on one of the exchanges I traded on. And this is what's really important. If you're trading on multiple different exchanges, you have a chance to spread out your risk. I had the same entry level, I had the same stop loss on Bybit and OKX. But sometimes, guys, these exchanges just behave differently. Sometimes the wicks go to different price levels. My stop loss was literally right at the top right here. If we actually look at the peak for Bitcoin here, my stop loss was 28,450 and the price went up to 28,480, right? So the price went $30 above my stop loss and then smacked it back down, right? And I would have made a lot of money, right, if I stayed in that short position. But here's the thing, is on Bybit, my stop loss was triggered, but on OKX, it wasn't triggered. So when the price came back down, I was already back at break even, and I was like, all right, I got a little bit burnt on Bybit, I don't need to keep trading this. So I closed that position on OKX. And this is where beautiful risk management comes in. See, because of that, I was able to continue to enjoy the profits from my current long position that I made on Bybit. But because I spread out my risk on multiple different exchanges, I didn't eat a bigger loss. This is one of those things that is only going to be useful once in every, 2 months. But, ladies and gents, if you are trading with any amount of money that you consider significant to you, the one time that this will be useful, it will pay you a lot of money. Or it will save you a lot of money. And that is something that's worth keeping in mind. Just these extra little things where, yeah, I know, man, it is going to take a little bit of extra effort. God forbid you sign up to a new fucking exchange and deposit your money and learn the very slight differences in the UI. There is going to be some learning curve to it, but you're a trader. You're already shortcutting your way to massive wealth. You need to make sure that you're doing things diligently, that you're spreading out your risk, that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. And that's why having multiple different exchanges is something that I live by, something that I've operated by for 6 years since I've entered the space, purely because this extra flexibility will be useful to a serious trader at some point. And when it's useful just the first time, it will pay itself off a million times over, right? I've saved myself from, I don't even know how many losses, potentially like just thousands of dollars in losses just on that one trade. You telling me that it's not worth thousands of dollars to get free money, right, to trade on these platforms? Obviously not. So definitely check them out. BingX, no KYC, and you can trade traditional finance. You can buy Tesla, Apple, you can buy the S&P 500 and so on, all with leverage. Very, very cool. Bybit will give you up to $30,000 in bonuses, and so will OKX. So you have amazing offers. All you've got to do is sign up to these exchanges, whichever ones you like, start trading, and you will get your bonuses, right? So they are well worth checking out. If you already have an account on any of these platforms, you can make a brand new one, and you still get the bonuses. So that is very, very cool. And if we do head back to the price action here, one of the big developments that I want to share with you is that on the 4-hour time frame, we have actually broken our Ichimoku cloud. Look at this right here. I was telling you guys that we have a lot of confluence of indicators of providing resistance in the same place, and we do still have that. We've got the green box right here, we got rejected off that. We've got the yellow line, got rejected off that. We've got the yellow box here, we got rejected off that. We've got the Ichimoku cloud, we didn't get rejected off that. We actually broke out above it, and now it's flipped green right along the red line here. So the market is really trying to show us that there is an opportunity here if the market comes back down. I think a lot of people are going to get scared by that. And now that the long-short ratio has adequately been flushed out, even though it is still too high, right? Even just 1.2 is too high. We're looking for 50-50, guys. If we start deviating away from that 50-50 in any particular direction, that's where you know that we're probably going to have to suffer just a little bit more, okay? So this is really, really important, and I think that if the price does come down a little bit, it could actually level out this long and short ratio even more, and it would also serve as a really nice correction, okay? Because this has been a really big rally. From our low to our high, this is 10% in 4 days, and the daily candle is the biggest daily candle we've had in quite some time, okay? If we look at this daily candle right here from low to high, this was a 6% candle, guys. The last time that we got a bullish candle like this would have been like right here, or possibly even this one if we count this wick, but I don't think that's fair because this was really weird price action. Those of you that were trading Bitcoin on this day, you're going to remember quite well. I actually nearly got burnt on that, and I'm lucky to have been able to close my position at break even because I traded a short on that day as well, and I had to close at break even because it was looking too risky, and I'm damn glad that I did, So it's all about that really tight risk management, making sure that, like, losses are inevitable. This is a reality of trading, and if you haven't accepted it yet, or if you don't want to accept it, you're not going to survive. But that's okay, because someone like me who can accept it will take your fucking money. But this is the thing, is that you're going to lose money, and what you need to do is just minimize how much of that you possibly do lose, and just not be emotionally attached to it. Just accept it. It's already happened. In my head, my next 10 losses have already happened. I'm just waiting for them to come. And so have my winners. My next 50 winners have already happened as well. I'm just waiting for the market to show them to me. That's my approach in this market, and it actually keeps me a lot more sane during all the volatility, so it's actually quite well worth keeping in mind. We've also got the Ichimoku cloud here, and given how that saved Bitcoin, you know, I mean, this isn't something you want to fade, right? I was talking to you guys about this a lot, and how this cloud is really valuable. The top line, the bottom line, but just anywhere in the cloud, very, very important for the cloud. So, I'm sorry, for the price. So, you know, if we are able to find a little bit more support off that, like, there's still a lot of good things going for Bitcoin in its favor right now. If we look at this chart on the 200, on the weekly chart as well, look at this moving average, the 200 week moving average. I did say I'd make a video on this, but I haven't done that yet, so I'm very sorry. But I will get around to that. You know, with this bounce right here off the 200 week moving average, you know, it is another really strong sign that's going to be building some confidence for me. We do have a huge resistance cloud on the weekly time frame here. I don't know how that's going to fare for Bitcoin, but historically, you know, these resistance clouds on the weekly have not been respected very much, and that is simply because Bitcoin is too volatile. All right, I mean, the weekly time frame is good for some kind of analysis, like, you know, I mean, if we look at this 200 week moving average, you can see that we got bounces perfectly. I mean, it called market bottoms many times, it called tops many times. So the 200 week moving average clearly is very important. But the Ichimoku cloud is just less important on the weekly time frame. It's just too big of a time frame. So again, we go down to the next best, and we got the daily time frame here, and it is just full fucking send as far as I'm concerned. You know, for what this chart is showing me right here, you know, I mean, with this 1 day Ichimoku cloud, it is everything that we want to see. It is everything that is beautiful in the world, ladies and gents. So I do absolutely love that. On the daily EMA ribbon as well, we have also broken out of that resistance, potentially backtesting it, getting ready to flip bullish again. So a lot of the progress that we lost over the last kind of 2-3 weeks has now been recovered just within 1 day, which is classic Bitcoin price action for you guys. But it's worth noting that we are still facing resistance. We haven't broken out of the resistance level yet, so we're still in trouble, right? But what's really good is that now that we have kind of formed a weekly close, now that we're, you know, I mean, we're 2-3 days away from 1 or 2 days away from a monthly close as well, you know, the whole situation is looking a lot healthier now. So to me, that's telling me even more like, well, yeah, I mean, if we clear the level that I'm looking for, which is 28.6, that's where I think a lot of the really nice opportunities could actually start flowing back into the market, and that's where I'm expecting Bitcoin to really start skyrocketing. And like I said, I'm still in this long position. VIPs knew all about it. You guys knew all about it too, because those of you that were subscribed to the YouTube channel back when I entered this position, which was obviously not that long ago, you know, you're going to know that I was actually very upfront about that position with you guys, as I've been with all positions since then, because I just decided to start telling you guys about them a little bit more, right? Before, all of that information was only for VIPs. It still is, but once the position is open and so on, once I've started to develop it a little bit more, I'm telling you guys about it right here on this YouTube channel as well. So that's the deal here. We're bringing more value into VIP, and we're bringing more value to the free stuff. So whether you want to join the paid group, or if you want to stay just as a free viewer of the channel, you're going to keep getting more value. That is my promise to you. That's always been my promise, and that's what we've always been able to fulfill, which I'm very proud of. If you do want to jump inside of VIP, see how I'm trading these markets in real time, see how I'm navigating my losses, see how I'm maximizing my winners, you know, how I'm keeping myself safe, and so on and so forth, then these are the steps on screen, or right here. You can just pause the video. If we move over to traditional finance, it is a bank holiday in the UK. I don't know if it's a bank holiday in the United States, but I know that the market is on holiday for something. So we haven't seen any development there, you know, but the dollar is active, and the dollar is kind of starting to form some reversal patterns by the looks of it. I mean, it's just kind of consolidating. To be fair, it probably could continue to rise up. It still hasn't hit its area of resistance, but this kind of stuff doesn't seem to matter for Bitcoin right now. So whatever, right? I mean, it's in our favor. We'll take it if we can, you know, but this is still something that's worth keeping in mind. Support still sits at 26.7. You know, the support is sitting at this red line. Support is sitting at the Ichimoku cloud. It's basically, you know, so many of the things that were offering resistance to Bitcoin are probably now going to be support for Bitcoin, and I think that's really going to put Bitcoin in quite a strong position to just you know, continue to rally up, or at least hold its current levels right here. So we got to see how this navigates. You know, I'm going going to be keeping a very close eye on this. There are a ridiculous number of very profitable trading opportunities that I'm seeing in this market right now. I've been filling VIPs in on them, across the altcoin market as well. But you guys know I'm not limited to that anymore. I'm also going to be trading traditional finance because I've got access to it on BingX, which you can find with the link in the description down below. So, there's going to be a little gold action from me, S&P 500. These are markets that, quite frankly, are just easier to trade than Bitcoin, and because they're easier to trade than Bitcoin, I'm interested in taking advantage of them because I don't really care where I get the money from. I just want to make more money. Okay. And I think that you guys are on the same page with me there, right? Like, if you make the money in Forex versus crypto, doesn't make any difference to you. You just want to get the fucking money. So it's about what's easier. It's about what's safer. And for me, a hybrid approach has actually worked out really well. That's what I've been doing in the past, and that's what I want to start doing again now. But there you go, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this one. You know exactly what to do. Hit up the like, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. Check out the links to the exchanges linked down below. Like I said, this is one of those things that will take a little bit more effort, but it will pay you back. And it doesn't, it depends on how much you're trading with, depends on what your wallet balance is, and so on and so forth. But for a lot of people, just one instance of this saving you, like it saved me today, will make it well worth the very little hassle that it takes to just make sure that you are signed up everywhere that you want to be signed up. You're ready to go. You've if there's KYC that needs to be done, that you've done it, and if you don't want to do KYC, that you've already signed up to a platform like BingX or PrimeXBT or even OKX doesn't require KYC up to certain limits. So you have a lot of options there that are worth checking out, and also a lot of bonuses, right? So definitely do make sure that you are taking advantage of this stuff. It's free money that just kind of accelerates you, right? You kind of you're gonna have to make the money yourself, or the exchange can give it to you and just give you a little bit of a head start as a reward for getting on the exchange. And by the way, like, OKX's bonuses are ridiculous. You only have to deposit $50 and you stand to get up to 20k in bonuses, which is crazy. I don't know any exchange that has that kind of ratio. So that is well worth checking out. And Bybit as well. Depending on what you deposit and trade with, you're going to get up to 30k back as a bonus that you can just deploy right back into the market, and any profits are yours to keep. So there you go, guys. Once again, I really hope you have enjoyed this. And I will be back to you guys very soon with some more Bitcoin analysis. Super happy with the price action so far. This is one of the best things we could be seeing. I'd love to see an even more bullish Bitcoin leading into summer this year, because we got to spend some fucking cash in Europe this year, legends. So let's make it a good summer. Let's hope that Bitcoin stays bullish, and we'll be keeping an eye on it. To see if I need to be tweaking any positions or doing anything a little bit differently. But a fun bullish summer is definitely very much welcome by everybody right now. I think everybody would love to have a little bit of extra cash for summer this year. So let's see how this goes. You know the deal. I'm going to keep you updated right here. So thank you all for being subscribed and getting the bell icon, checks, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.